beginning of May 2025 was a true shock for millions of people around the world. Nature spared neither major cities nor small settlements. Hailstorms, heavy snowfall, tornadoes, and dust storms, all of these extreme events hit different parts of the planet within just a few days. What is happening with the weather, and what is humanity lacking to overcome the climate crisis? USA. Throughout the week, the United States was affected by destructive storms. On April 30th, powerful storm fronts swept through a dozen states, from Texas to New York. In Oklahoma, the storm disrupted traffic. Highways were blocked, and heavy rainfall caused rapid flooding. In the town of Wewoka, rivers and streams rose to the level of the bridges, and the violent currents uprooted massive oak trees. Such large-scale flooding hadn't been seen in many years. In the city of Lawton, evacuation orders were issued in several districts. The natural disaster claimed the lives of 2 people. In the capital of Oklahoma, Oklahoma City, April set a record for rainfall. Over 300 millimeters fell during the month, while the usual average is around 100 millimeters. The storm caused significant disruptions in air travel. At the Dallas-Fort Worth International Airport, Texas, alone, hundreds of flights were canceled. On May 2nd, destructive wind gusts exceeding 100 kilometers per hour and hailstones up to 6 centimeters in diameter were recorded in Mississippi, Alabama, Tennessee, and Kentucky, causing substantial damage. In Georgia, 4 people were injured due to the partial collapse of a building's roof, and in Louisiana, near New Orleans, a tornado swept through residential areas. On May 5th, a tragedy occurred in the Texas community of Brenham. A water current swept away a 10-year-old girl returning from school. Unfortunately, she could not be saved. In the city of Colleyville, lightning sparked a fire in a residential building, resulting in 3 people being injured. In several areas of Texas and Louisiana, large hailstorms occurred, with hailstones reaching up to 8 centimeters, 3.1 inches in some places. In northern Texas, in rural areas, strong winds damaged wind turbines and a nearby airport. Meteorologists stated that the prolonged and destructive weather was caused by a rare atmospheric phenomenon. A high-pressure area became trapped between 2 low-pressure zones. This blocked the movement of weather fronts, triggering long-lasting and intense storms. Although such atmospheric traps are typical for the spring season, meteorologists note that such intense weather events occurring as early as May are extremely rare and pose a serious threat. Mexico. The same wave of bad weather also affected neighboring Mexico. On the evening of May 1st, a heavy downpour hit Nuevo León state, accompanied by abnormally large hailstones. In the municipality of Ciénega de Flores, hailstones nearly 7 centimeters, 2.8 inches, in size fell, causing damage to dozens of vehicles, and some houses had their roofs punctured. Many residents had their windows shattered, leading to significant unplanned expenses, as insurance companies don't always cover damages caused by hail. Such events are rare for this region, where typically less intense rainfall is observed. China. During the May holidays, China was hit by a series of extremely powerful convective storms. On May 3rd, in Gansu province, the city of Dunhuang, crowded with holidaymakers, was struck by a powerful sandstorm. In some areas, wind speeds exceeded 32 meters per second, 72 miles per hour. Visibility dropped to 500 meters or less, causing around 10,000 people to be stranded in the tourist areas. It should be noted that the city of Dunhuang is located amidst vast deserts, and sandstorms are a common occurrence there. However, according to local residents, this time the storm was significantly stronger than usual. On the night of May 4th to 5th, a strong storm occurred in Sichuan province. In just the Yangtze River basin, more than 30,000 lightning strikes were recorded. In the city of Chengdu, wind gusts reached up to 28 meters per second, about 100 kilometers per hour or 62 miles per hour. On social media, eyewitnesses shared their impressions of the crazy winds, which knocked down canopies, billboards, electric scooters, and blew things everywhere, even ripping off outdoor air conditioning units. On May 4th, a tragic event occurred on the Yachi River in Guizhou Province. In the afternoon in Jiangxi County, 5 to 6 minutes after several cruise boats left the pier, a thunderstorm with thunder, lightning, heavy rain, and hail struck. The wind speed exceeded 41.5 meters per second, about 150 kilometers per hour or 93 miles per hour at the time. As a result of the storm, 4 boats capsized. There were a total of 84 people aboard. According to official reports, 70 people sustained injuries of varying severity, and 10 people lost their lives. It is particularly notable that an orange hail warning, indicating a high likelihood of dangerous weather, was issued at 2:40 a.m. on May 4th. Despite this, the cruise boats in the tourist area continued to set out on their routes without any restrictions. Russia. In May, central Russia was unexpectedly hit by a powerful snowstorm, an anomaly for this time of year. The impact of the storm was especially strong in the Moscow region. On May 1st, the capital recorded a daily precipitation record, broken for the first time in 116 years. The previous record, 20.6 millimeters, was set in 1909. By the morning of May 2nd, the snow cover had reached a height of 20 centimeters, about 8 inches. Trees that had already begun to leaf out started breaking under the weight of the wet snow. Fallen trees blocked railway tracks, leading to hours-long delays for 60 suburban trains and several long-distance routes. In addition, hundreds of cars were damaged, power lines were torn down, and more than 4,000 substations were left without electricity. More than 800 populated areas were left without electricity. Efforts to restore power were complicated not only by the need to repair damage, but also by the necessity of laying new sections of power lines. In some communities, people were left without heating, water, or communication for more than 4 days. They cooked food over open fires and kept warm in their cars. On May 6th, a rare tornado for this region was recorded in the Republic of Altai. In the village of Iogach, the funnel formed directly above residential houses, causing alarm among the local residents. Afterward, the tornado moved toward the forest, uprooting hundreds of trees. France. On May 3rd, a hailstorm struck France, bringing heavy rain and gusty winds. In some areas, hailstones reached up to 4 centimeters, 1.6 inches, in diameter. Although the event was brief, it disrupted transportation in parts of the Île-de-France region. In Paris's Parc Montsouris, a wind gust of 90 kilometers per hour, 56 miles per hour, was recorded. It was accompanied by a sudden drop in temperature from 27 degrees Celsius to 15 degrees Celsius, 81 degrees Fahrenheit to 59 degrees Fahrenheit, in a matter of minutes. Flooding led to a buildup of debris on the streets and caused temporary closures of several metro stations. The storm caused numerous delays and flight cancellations at Paris Charles de Gaulle International Airport. Such an intense storm was triggered by the abnormal heat that had settled over the region the day before. Air temperatures approached 30 degrees Celsius, 86 degrees Fahrenheit, significantly exceeding the average for early May. Despite meteorologists' warnings about possible bad weather, the actual scale of the storm came as a surprise. For Parisians who are used to spring showers, such a powerful storm was a real shock. One eyewitness remarked, "If you think you're safe in the city, just 15 minutes is enough to turn everything upside down." Middle East. On April 30th, a rare meteorological event occurred. A massive dust storm simultaneously affected 9 countries in the Middle East. The hot air coming from the south raised temperatures by 8 to 12 degrees Celsius, 46 to 54 degrees Fahrenheit, above normal, and wind gusts reaching 70 kilometers per hour, 43 miles per hour, lifted massive clouds of dust. This led to disruptions in transportation and posed a health risk to residents. On May 4th, an atmospheric disturbance in Jordan led to dangerous weather conditions. Heavy rains, thunderstorms, and dust reduced visibility and caused sudden flooding in lowland areas. In Petra, one of the country's key tourist attractions, the downpours partially flooded the archaeological site. requiring the evacuation of more than 1,700 tourists. As a result of the flooding in the Shubak area, Belgian tourists, a woman and her son, lost their lives. On the same day, Kuwait was affected by strong winds and a dense dust storm. This led to the temporary closure of airports and seaports. Wind gusts exceeded 100 kilometers per hour, reducing visibility in some areas to near zero. On May 5th, Baghdad and its surroundings were hit by an intense dust storm, completely enveloping the city in a dense cloud of dust and debris. Visibility in the city sharply decreased, in some areas to just 1 kilometer. In the central regions of Saudi Arabia, an unusual natural phenomenon occurred: a dust wall, a dense curtain of dust that completely obscured the horizon. As explained by a specialist, such a formation can occur during a microburst, a sudden downward airflow that, upon hitting the ground, lifts a large amount of dust and sand into the atmosphere. In some cases, the height of such a dust wall can exceed 2 kilometers. Afghanistan. On May 2nd, heavy rains caused rapid flooding and landslides in the Badakhshan province in northeastern Afghanistan. The storm led to the destruction of about 170 houses, damage to roads and the water supply system, leaving residents without access to drinking water. Powerful torrents swept away cars. Crops were lost on hundreds of hectares of agricultural land and orchards. In addition, around 300 head of livestock were lost. According to one local resident, the only thing people had left was the clothes they were wearing. The flooding cut off transportation between the provincial capital, the city of Faizabad, and the Baharak district. At least 2 people were killed and 3 others were injured. India. On the morning of May 2nd, the Delhi metropolitan area was hit by a powerful and sudden storm, accompanied by wind gusts of up to 80 kilometers per hour and heavy rainfall. The storm caused widespread destruction, chaos, and resulted in human casualties. In the city of Najafgarh, a strong wind gust uprooted a tree, which then crashed onto a residential house, killing a woman and her 3 children. Another victim was a man who sought shelter from the rain and was struck by a fatal electric shock. The intensity of the rainfall was record-breaking. In just 1 day, the capital received more rain than the average for 3 months. The storm caused severe disruptions to the transportation system. Around 200 flights were delayed at Delhi airport, and train services were disrupted due to trees fallen on the tracks. Numerous streets in the city were flooded. The storm's scale and suddenness shocked not only the residents, but also the country's meteorologists. According to their admission, while rainfall had been predicted, such a powerful and abrupt weather event was completely unexpected. Thunderstorms of this magnitude are highly unusual for northern India at this time of year. A warning about the approaching storm was issued at 2:30 a.m., a time when most residents were still asleep and simply did not receive the information in time. According to experts from the India Meteorological Department, such a strong and sudden storm was the result of an extremely rare weather phenomenon for the region, the simultaneous influx of moisture from the Arabian Sea and the Bay of Bengal, which caused a sharp surge in atmospheric instability. Natural disasters are becoming more intense, sudden, and destructive. Today, no one can feel completely safe. Some continue to ignore what is happening until disaster strikes their own home. But it's only a matter of time. Soon, the consequences will affect everyone. The good news is that more and more people around the world are beginning to see the truth and call things by their names. Once people realize the reality, they stop comforting themselves with illusions and start to ask, how did we get to this point? Why did we stay silent for so long? Why didn't we act sooner? Yes, realization doesn't come to everyone at once. We are all different. Some need more time to understand the obvious, while others need less. Unfortunately, the climate will force all of us to face the reality. The question is whether we will realize the scale of the threat in time and respond correctly. Our future depends on this. Humanity has a desire to live and a wish to improve life, but what we lack the most is a common goal. Without it, our existence loses meaning. We fight without understanding why, each person for themselves. If humanity finally finds this common goal, to survive, to preserve the planet, to protect each other, then we will be able to overcome the climate crisis. This is what we need the most right now: unity and a shared purpose.